ready to head off the trails? I'm the Cryptid Huntress, Jessica Jones, and I'm ready to take you on a mysterious journey right now. We welcome you guys to Off the Trails right here on the Spaced Out Radio's YouTube channel. If you guys haven't hit subscribe yet, please do. We would love to have you guys. Shout out to Bumblefoot for that amazing intro music. I super duper appreciate that. You guys, please follow us on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio, on Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show, and on TikTok at Spaced Out Radio. Y'all can find me at thecryptidhuntress.com. That's my website. And please subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's called The Cryptid Huntress. I have some pretty awesome shows on my YouTube channel, live shows, every Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern and Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern. You guys definitely want to go check those out. I actually pinned one of my latest videos up in the live chat tonight. It pertains to what we're going to be talking about, and it's called something about lost children being taken care of by bears in the woods. Okay, we're going to discuss that tonight with my guest, John Vandeventer. He is in the house tonight. If you guys would like to support what I'm doing, please join my Patreon. I would love to have you guys there. I have a wonderful Patreon family. And also, I have a shop. It's called War Woman Goods. And that is on Etsy. Let me pull some of this stuff up here, maybe so you can see. I am going to be in Las Vegas this week. Oh my gosh, I'm flying out to Las Vegas. We have the Spaced Out Radio fan party this coming weekend. I want you guys to know I'm not going to have a regular live show here next weekend. I am going to be out of town. We're broadcasting live from the Golden Nugget. Oh my God, there's a moth. Oh, live shows are the best, y'all. I just had a moth land on my arm. So that was not an orb. It's a pretty moth too, by the way. But anyways, we're broadcasting live from the Golden Nugget in Las Vegas, Nevada. And I'm going to be there. I'm not sure exactly what time on Saturday. I'm taking the first 2 hours, and I'm interviewing all sorts of amazing VIP guests that we're going to have there. Some of the biggest, best names in the UFO disclosure community, Dogman and Bigfoot communities, in just the cryptid world in general. So you guys, please be sure to join me on Saturday. Live from the Golden Nugget. I will also have at least one show this week on Wednesday. I have D.A. Roberts coming on, the Cryptid Huntress, this Wednesday. We've got some alleged real Dogman photos from a trail cam we're going to be showing on Wednesday. So y'all be sure to tune into that. Okay, awesome, you guys. I have a fantastic guest in the studio. Like I said, I have John Vandeventer here. Don't forget that right after this show, After Hours has an amazing program set up for us tonight. So let's get to our guest, and y'all come see me in Las Vegas, okay? All right, so John Vandeventer was born in Dallas and raised in Plano, Texas. He's had a lifelong fascination for military aircraft, which he developed as a young boy. This fascination led him to serving in the U.S. Air Force for 16 years. His fascination for military aircraft also led him to a fascination with UFOs. He is the author of the best-selling, very popular series, RELICS. Okay, it's RELICS book series. And I'm going to let him tell us a little bit more about that, especially towards the end of the show tonight. We're going to tell you guys where to find his book series. It is phenomenal. If you're into Bigfoot, Sasquatch, UFOs, Antarctica, all the secrets of the world, you know, all the stuff that we talk about here on my show, that's what John writes about, and it's amazing. John and his wife, Monica, they live near Honobia. They're out there in Oklahoma, the heart of Sasquatch country. Okay, so we've got a really cool show for you guys tonight. Please help me welcome to Space Out Radio, John Vandeventer. Hey, John. Hey, John, can you hear me?
Hi there.
Oh, hey. Hello. Did you see that?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Did you happen to see that gigantic moth that landed on my arm during that intro? That was something else.
Yeah, I saw it.
You saw that? It
Well,
looked like
I
a
was
bird.
telling you before, Monica doesn't like, she doesn't like moths or flies, and that takes priority. I bought her one of those little salt guns. Have you seen those?
Oh, a
that
bug
shoot
assault.
flies
Yeah,
with?
we have one of those. My friend Jeff
But she won't
Townsend
use
gave
it.
my son
Yeah.
one. Yes, we have one. You put salt in it, and it's salty. Yes, and it kills bugs.
Right.
I have never killed a bug. We've shot many things. I
She's
don't think
old
we've ever
school
killed a
though.
bug
She
with
still
it.
goes with a swatter.
The swatter, the good old swatter. You can't. I mean, listen, that was part of my childhood. Okay, having my pawpaw sitting around swatting flies. Okay, yeah, that was that was a big moth though. That I am just attracted. I attract orbs and moths and Lord knows what else during these live shows. But yeah, John, I've had so much fun having conversations with you about the last one we had. I guess we talked about children who had been lost in the woods, and they claim to have been taken care
Right.
of by bears. And I have to tell you, that was a great show. And we really dug deep into a couple of cases where there were, I guess it was like there was a 3-year-old and a 2-year-old kid. They claimed they had been taken care of by bears. I think that they were Bigfoots. I remote viewed it. I saw they were Bigfoots. Okay. Now, I want to say Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers that are watching tonight and all the mothers who are listening in. I hope that everyone's had a wonderful Mother's Day weekend. I had a great Mother's Day weekend. John, I hope Monica had a great Mother's Day today. Shout out to Monica. Okay. And Happy Mother's Day to her. Did you guys do anything special, John?
Church took her to lunch, and she heard
Oh,
from all her
yeah.
children. So that's a good Mother's Day.
Okay. Perfect. Perfect. Awesome. Well, okay. So not only are we going to touch on the topic of the children that were taken care of by bears, okay, I figured we'd talk tonight about some very interesting videos of Sasquatches carrying children, okay, were mothers, and even families of Bigfoots. Stories about families taking care of humans and taking care of their youngins, as we call them here in the South. I think that makes for a very interesting topic. And since it's Mother's Day, John, I figured this is a perfect topic for tonight. What do you think?
Yeah, I think so. Couldn't have picked a better one.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. Perfect. Well, yeah. It's interesting how human-like a lot of these Sasquatch are, and they have. They say there's human DNA with Sasquatch in Sasquatch, and through my remote viewing, I have absolutely picked up on that. I know that the DNA studies, like Dr. Melba Ketchum, have done. She says that they have human DNA, and so there's something to that, and it's very similar to humans, and a lot of us humans have a very motherly instinct, okay, and we do like to take care of our. Oh, we I have a kid. If I were to find any kind of, even like that moth that landed on my arm right now, I'm not sitting there. I'm not one that would want to kill it. I want to like take care of it and like take it outside. And it's actually sitting on my ring light right now, and it's really pretty. But I have one of those motherly instincts. I am a mother, and so, in the case of those two kids that you and I have talked about that were lost in the woods, they were taken care of by Bigfoots. Okay, according to my remote viewing data. And so I think that they have a lot of attributes that us humans have when it comes to empathy and compassion and things like that. I think they have a lot of the same emotions that we have. What do you think, John? Are you familiar with Sasquatch having emotions? You do live in the heart of Sasquatch country.
Well, are you hearing me okay, by the way? Microphone
I
working?
am. I think there might be a tiny bit of a delay or something. Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, that I was curious. Well, like any animal or any mother, any species is going to gravitate, especially like even men. Look at a kitten, look at a puppy, look how people react to baby animals. So yeah, I would think a female Sasquatch with motherly instincts, would apply that to a child should she find one in the wilderness. Look, you've seen pictures or stories or photographs of cats raising baby skunks and things like that. So I think it's a universal. I think motherhood is probably a universal genetic code, you know,
Yeah.
in in
that
the female
divine
of each
feminine
species,
energy.
if I don't get in trouble for
Yeah.
saying that. Right.
I think so too. I think even. What do you think about Dogman? Do you think
The
Dogman could be
nurturing.
motherly? Right. I think all animals have that, except for the chupacabra.
I don't know.
Okay.
I mean,
Listen, Barry Littleton and I did a remote viewing show on that where he gave me a blind target. It was a chupacabra. It turns out that a group of remote viewers, including John Vivinco, a pretty famous, well-known remote viewer, they looked into the chupacabras, and I think it was the ones out of Puerto Rico, the same ones that I was tasked at looking at. And what he picked up on, what they said, is that as soon as a chupacabra is born, the mother immediately tries to eat it. So, I mean, I think that may be hopefully that's the only creature that the mother tries to eat it as soon as it's born. So,
I
it
think
has to
there's
run,
some
he
fish
said.
that do that as well.
Some fish? Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh. Hink, thank you
Yes.
so much. You must be from Holland, I'm assuming. Thank you for that super sticker. Space Out Radio appreciates you. We appreciate you, and go yay to your Dutch football champion team. That's amazing. So yeah, I agree. I think that Sasquatch and pretty much most animals on this planet, and I'm not saying Sasquatch is an animal, but most beings on this planet do have a motherly instinct to them. Now, there's some very interesting footage that I thought we could discuss tonight. One of them is a video of a Sasquatch. It's an alleged Sasquatch, a mother crossing a river. It was filmed in Michigan, and it was on the Cass River. And let me see. I have a still shot of it. And if anybody wants to look that up, I don't have the video here with us today for the show, but I do have a still shot of that. A lot of people are very familiar with this, especially if you're into researching Bigfoot. It looks like a brown ape-like humanoid kind of thing. It looks like an ape-like human. Wading in the water, carrying something in its arms. Okay, when you watch the video, it definitely looks like a child. Actually, you can kind of see the leg going over the front part of her torso. And it's only a 4-second clip. This thing was filmed by a kayaker on the Cass River in Michigan. Okay, this video went viral, John. And it clearly does look like a Sasquatch. However, there's always the people out there that want to debunk it. I want to debunk things myself. But people say it looks like a hunter with fishing gear on, with a net over its face. They say it looks like it could be like a man carrying a dog, or it could. The articles that I read said that it could be your drunk uncle or something, like just a person with a mosquito net over your face or over his face. But if you look, there's a side view of this thing actually, and I don't have a picture of it. But if you go look up this video, it's the Michigan Bigfoot and crossing the river. And if you there's part of the video where it turns its head to the side, and you can clearly see its nose, and the nose is the same color as the fur. Okay, so it actually. It looks more legitimately a Bigfoot in my opinion, but who knows? Now, if anybody in the chat tonight has any kind of information on this video, please let us know, because I don't know a ton about this video. I just know I've seen it, and yeah, I know I've seen it. It looks legit to me, and there's actually one other video of a Sasquatch that's even more legit in my opinion, and we'll get to that in a minute. What are your thoughts on the Michigan Bigfoot crossing the river, John? Have you seen that before?
You know what? I didn't get to see it this time, and I've never seen it.
Oh, let me pull that back up. Yes, we were
All
having
right.
some technical difficulties.
Yet,
Yes.
not, as soon as you made
Uh-oh.
the video.
Oh, wait, there you go. John, I think that you kind of cut out a little bit. Please repeat that, if you don't mind. John, can you hear me? Okay. I don't don't think John. I think John is. I can't hear John right now, y'all. So, okay. How about this? How about I'm going to take this picture down and. Okay, I think John might be frozen. Everybody, we're hopefully John come back, log out and come back in if you can, and we're gonna get you up and running. John, they've had really bad storms tonight out in Oklahoma. He lives in Oklahoma, not only the heart of Sasquatch country, but the heart of like Tornado Alley. Okay, so they're having some issues out there with probably with the internet and stuff like that. So. It's me. It's the Cryptid Huntress, live and direct. Okay, yeah. This is one of the pictures actually that I used when that I showed when we were talking about the children that were taken care of by bears. But it turned out I do believe it was Bigfoot's female Sasquatches that were taking care of these human children that had been lost in the woods. There are numerous accounts of this all over the United States, going back to at least the 1800s, of children being cared for by bears. You guys, let me just show you a comparison video, by the way, or not a video, but a picture. That kind of looks like a Sasquatch too, a little bit, or a bear looks kind of like a Sasquatch in my opinion. And so, also, I think a bear just might eat a child. Okay, so it's just hard to wrap your head around a kid being taken care of by a bear for days on end, being fed and sheltered by a bear. It just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. While we're waiting for John, I'm going to go ahead and talk about that for a minute. Okay, when John comes back, we're going to get into the next video of the Independence Day footage of the mama Sasquatch carrying her kids across the boulder field. Right now, how about we just go into this while I wait for John to come back? We're going to talk about a child who was named Casey Hathaway. This kid went missing in 2019 out of North Carolina. He said that a bear, this is his picture, and this is the bear. I feel comfortable showing this because this was all over the newspapers, okay? This child said that he was taken care of by a bear. Here's John. Let me pull John back up. Hey, John. Got you back up. I'm gonna go ahead and start talking about Casey that was taken care of by a bear for just a second, and then we're gonna get into the other footage of the Sasquatch carrying her baby. Okay, so in 2019, Casey Hathaway went missing. He said a bear kept him safe and warm while he was lost in the woods. I thought that was super duper fishy. He was in. Just the part about the bear taking care of him was fishy, y'all. He was playing outside his grandmother's house. He totally wandered off and disappeared. He endured freezing temperatures and heavy rain, but it has a happy ending. Don't worry. He survived the harrowing experience, thanks in part to a bear that kept him safe and warm. I believe law enforcement, the Marines, professional search teams, and volunteers were sent to look for him. They looked for at least a couple of days, if not a week. They looked for him. He was gone for a while. And then eventually a neighbor was walking her dog and heard him crying about 50 yards away from the road. He was basically unharmed. And he said that a bear had taken out with him. He hung out with a bear for 2 days, is what he told his family. And the aunt said that God sent him a friend to keep him safe out there, is what his aunt said. So and they said that it was a miracle that he survived. It sounded kind of wild, right? That a bear, I mean, and bears can care for humans, I assume. I think that any animal can. However, it just sounded fishy to me, okay, that a bear would take care of a child like that. But not to say it couldn't happen. I mean, wasn't there a movie called Gentle Ben or something like that? It was probably a gentle bear. I don't know. But yeah, when I did remote view that, and it did turn out to be a female Sasquatch that took care of him. Okay, according to my data. And here's John again. Hey, John.
Hi. Hey, I came in on my phone. I have a better connection with my phone than my laptop, evidently.
Perfect. That works. Hey, listen, I'm the one that's usually having all the internet connection problems. So we're good. You're doing awesome. Yeah. Okay. Well, I was just talking about Casey and how, you know, we did that show and I remote viewed it, and it was a female Sasquatch that had been taking care of him. for
Right.
all that time that he was gone. So, yeah, what are your thoughts on that?
Um,
On the 3-year-old?
well, it kind of goes back to what we were talking about earlier. I could see that happening, a motherly instinct kicking in. And, you had the case before that, too. Was that 1955?
Yes, yes. I have not gotten to that one yet, but yeah, in 1955 there was
Oh,
a
okay.
little
Well, I
girl
didn't want
named.
to steal your thunder.
Yeah. No,
Sorry.
it's okay. Well, we'll talk about
There's
it.
another case that I found in one of David Paulides' missing 411 books, where a small child, I think it was not even a toddler, maybe toddler, and they were like, it was some place like the Everglades, a very swampy area, and this child had on, like a real frilly, girly nightgown or whatever. And when they
Oh,
found her, she was like in a reed island in the middle of the swamp, and her gown and stuff was completely clean. It had been wet, didn't have any swamp water on it or mud or anything like
oh,
that. So
wow.
it's either something like a Sasquatch or people, uh, and you never put it past to be feral people out there either. In some of these places, you never know.
That's right. Oh, feral people. That's the thing. Yeah, we have to really watch out for that as well, and think about it. I mean, there's some of these things that we've looked into, or I've looked into, where children were taken care of by. I mean, there's a type of Sasquatch that is basically like a feral human, the
Right.
wild man. It does have some Sasquatch type DNA kind of stuff going on, the genetics, but the in the 1800s there were a lot of reports of wild men, and wild men include wild women, right? So
Sure.
it's not just going to be wild men; it's female wild men as well. But it's not more like
Sometimes
a
the wild women make the men wild.
right. I guess so. Yeah, it's like a Neanderthal, I guess you call it, looking Sasquatch. We call those a type 4. Okay, and yes, there are wild women and wild men. Just like we got dog women and dog men. I'm assuming you got to. There's no way around that. Um, but yeah, that the 1955 case was 2-year-old Ida Mae Curtis. She spent 2 days. I think it was 2 days in the, and I want to say Kootenay. I don't know how to pronounce it. But the Kootenay National Forest. I believe that, I want to say that's in Montana. Okay, this is a picture of it. Super deep woods, and I mean, just very dangerous for a child. That was in 1955. She said that she was comforted by a bear while she was out in the woods. Yeah, I looked into that one too. That was not a bear. That was another Sasquatch that took care of her out there when I remote viewed that case. Long story short, it was a Sasquatch. Okay, and we did a show about that, John. I did pin that show. If anybody would like to watch that, it's on my YouTube channel. I pinned it. It's in the live chat. If you go up to the kind of the top of the chat tonight, you're going to see that video there of that. So, yeah, John, these are some very interesting cases. I think there's a lot of cases of these lost kids that really, it's a miracle that they survived. Because who's to say that they didn't come across a mean Sasquatch that was having a bad day and,
Well, yeah,
could have
and there
kidnapped
was
them?
another case in the Paulides books where they found these missing children. I believe there was 3 of them, and they were hiding in a deadfall, and they told their rescuers that they were hiding from the monkey people that were trying to hurt them. So,
Oh my gosh, they were hiding from the monkey people?
yes,
Oh wow. Oh, okay. Thank you guys. Kootenay Mountains. Thank you. So I admit I have no idea how to pronounce some of these names. So thank you guys so much for putting the right accent on the right syllable for me, because I need that sometimes. Yes. Okay. So I'm not sure who this is. Somebody on Facebook is completely right. I live near a place called Rome, Georgia, and the city of Rome, Italy, sent over a statue of Romulus and Remus, actually, with their mother. They call it like the mother wolf, I think, drinking from her, what do you call it, teats? I don't know. I know. Drinking, she was feeding them when they were babies. She raised them. They were literally raised by wolves. Okay. But yeah, that was a wolf that cared for those children. So it is possible for predators to take care of human children. Absolutely. But yeah, great stories. Yeah, that's a great point. I really like that. I did not even think about that, about Romulus and Remus. And that's something that I've known since I was a kid, because I always saw that statue on the courthouse steps in Rome, Georgia. So very, very interesting. Yes. So let's see. All right. So we have these cases of these missing, lost children. I don't say missing. I guess they are missing, but they were lost. They found their way home by way of potentially Sasquatch. Now, I do have this other video, John. I don't have the video, actually. I pinned the video. It's called the Independence Day footage. And this is footage of... I'm going to show some still shots from this tonight. And this is one of the all-time best videos. First of all, it rivals the Patty video, I think. I mean, it's like... I'm going to say it's just as good as the Patty video, in my opinion. Now, Patty was the first, the Patterson-Gimlin film. That was the first video of a Sasquatch, even a female Sasquatch, okay? And this video is called the Independence Day footage. It was shot on the 4th of July. I don't have a ton of information on this video other than I know that it's the Independence Day footage. I pinned a video of this in the live chat tonight, so you guys go check out the in the chat, scroll up to the top, and you're going to find a quick video. It's only a few seconds. And I think it's less than like 10 or 15 seconds of a video of this Sasquatch. It actually is behind this boulder. Someone films it. It picks up a baby. It looks like it kisses the baby. It literally looks like it's kissing the baby. And I think it sees, obviously it's looking towards the camera, it sees that it's being filmed, and it takes off walking briskly. Okay, very quickly it walks away with the baby. Okay, and yeah, and it gets out of Dodge is what it does. So it's a fascinating video. I just spilt my water all over my notes. Okay, so of course I did. I'm covered in water right now, but it's okay. We're going to keep going. It feels good. It's hot up here. So, but yeah, that's the Independence Day footage. If you guys would like to see that, I highly recommend going to click that link. Click it while we're talking, or wait till after the show, whichever. But definitely go check that out.
As I was telling you earlier, when I first started researching for the first book, on Sasquatch stuff, that was one of the first videos I came across, other than, Patterson-Gimlin. I'd seen that, most of my life. But that was one of the first videos that really impressed me, was that when you just showed the stills from. I was like, wow, that one kind of blew me away.
It's one of the better videos, in my opinion, first of all, of evidence of Bigfoot. If you want evidence of Bigfoot, y'all go check that video out. And I had my friend Trey, who, his name's Trey Howell. He has a very interesting, amazing, popular social media, I want to say handle, but it's like, he's got a YouTube channel. It's called Squatch Me Now. And he is a filmmaker and a documentarian. He is really good at debunking fakes. Okay, anything that is altered or whatever, he sniffs it out, and he can tell you if something is real or not. And he and I have had a conversation about this video. He says that it basically can't be faked. Okay, let me pull those pictures up one more time. And he said it'd be really hard to fake this. First of all, it would cost a lot of money. And the way that this creature, the being, the Sasquatch is walking, it does not walk like a human, okay? And it's not only is carrying a baby, but it's walking through a boulder field, which is extremely dangerous. And this Bigfoot is walking through it like total ease, like there's nothing to it, with grace and just gliding through the boulders. Now, imagine if we were walking through that, especially with bare feet as humans, it'd be hard to do that. I mean, it would be completely hard to do that. Carrying a baby, it would be super dangerous. And according to Trey, he said he does not believe in any way that could be faked. That this is some of the most amazing footage right there of a
Well,
mono Bigfoot.
you don't see any monkey suit hanging, like hanging cloth or hanging garment, or what's the word I'm looking, material.
Yeah.
There's muscle structure, everything's filled out. You see some of these videos and like there's no calves, there's no ankles, just like the material's just hanging straight down. That's usually a dead giveaway. You're looking at a suit, but I didn't see that on this one. I think that's why I was so impressed with it.
Yes, it's absolutely. And in another video, the most iconic video. I'm gonna put my water down here so I don't spill it anymore. The most iconic video of all times when it comes to Bigfoot, that is going to be the Patty video, right, John? And
Right.
I don't know. I'm not going to go there with what we talked about last week. Well, I'll touch on it a little bit because I just did a show on Thursday night on Patty, and I actually remote viewed Patty at Bluff Creek. Yes, I made the mistake of saying Washington when I knew good and well she was in California, y'all. And during my show, I said she was in Washington. I don't know. I'm a Southern girl. I slipped up. Okay, but yeah, that's Patty. People say that in this video you can actually see there's a child in this video. Some people say that she has at least one, maybe two kids. I did remote view the entire incident of her at Bluff Creek, and Barry Littleton and I did a show on it on Thursday, and I do believe he does believe that she had one, or at least one, probably two children that she was hiding during that incident there at Bluff Creek, and and they say this is it'd be really hard to fake this video as well, John, because of the suit and everything. You can just see the musculature of her body and the fur, the hair on her body and everything. You can see details, even her
Right.
breast. Okay, you can see her boobs right there. So
Yeah, and you would have had to been, I don't know, pretty much on the ball to go ahead and get a suit design that showed the muscle structure, and to think of adding the breast and making it a female. I mean, I think Bob Gimlin said they just weren't that clever. That was something they would have never dreamed of. They were just two old cowboys, back out in the woods. Yeah, they were looking for this, but I don't know, just the way the whole thing happened. I've heard they think the only reason they got as close as they did was because they were on horseback and they were on four-legged animals, and they just happened, to blunder into it because the Sasquatch, it didn't hear the normal people thrashing and things like that. But yeah, to actually have breasts and the muscle structure, that's a pretty convincing video. I mean, I've always thought it was authentic. Jessica, you might check your mic. I'm not hearing you. I don't know if anybody
oh
else.
my gosh, I was
There
just
you
sitting
go.
there talking the whole time, and I was
I was afraid
muted.
it was on
So
my
thank
end,
you.
and then I thought, well, we better
It's
ask
me.
her.
Okay, so yeah, let me rewind that because I had a whole conversation with myself just then that you guys didn't hear, so I apologize. Yeah, so I remote viewed Patty, and what I did see was she's absolutely 100% a Sasquatch that right off the bat. When I honed in on the target, though, I did. Come across my data was showing that it was not so nice, not very pleasant, what was happening at the time, and apparently, according to my data, she was actually trying to be a decoy to distract from her children that were out there that were kind of hiding, and she was trying to protect her children from what was going on out there. And like I said, it's not very nice. If anybody would like to see that show that Barry Littleton and I did, it's pinned in the live chat tonight, and you can watch it there. we won't get into details. I know it's very controversial, but we put that out there. We actually had a really good response about that. But it did kind of give me the idea about doing a show on Mama Sasquatches tonight, because of that. Because Patty was a mother, and it was yeah. I'd like to pay tribute to Patty tonight. I think that that what she was doing. Not only did we get to see Patty as a Bigfoot, and that was like the first film evidence of an actual Sasquatch. But she was a mama out there protecting her children, and I give her super kudos for that, and applaud Patty for being a good mama out there. So yeah, it's kind of sad. Like I said, I'm not gonna get into details about that. Thank you. Oh my gosh, I see everybody in the chat saying I was muted too. Thank y'all. I love my chat. Thank y'all so much. But yeah, John, what did you think? I know you were in the chat that night when we were talking about Patty. What did you think about that?
Well, the funny thing, I had just gotten approached by a lady, a First Nations person, and she friended me on Facebook, and the whole thing was what you were talking about just a few days before you did that. So I thought it was kind of strange, or what a coincidence. And I remember I sent her the link, but I never heard back from her. But yeah, it was something I'd never heard of or thought of. So it's a new twist. I don't know what to think. It's you don't want to think that's going on, and you don't want to think Patterson or Gimlin were involved. And I don't know. That's a lot to run around in your head. But like I said, you saw what you saw, and then I started researching it a little bit, and other people have said the same thing. I've seen those pictures. I found them other places than your show, so it is a possibility. I just don't know which side to jump on. I don't have enough information. I think your mic's off again, or
It is. It's I've got my fans and everything going, so I keep hitting mute. John, I'm sorry. Yeah, it's I just got that data. I actually was very hesitant to even talk about that publicly, because I knew that it was going to be very divisive and polarizing with the Bigfooting community, and I know I'm not in this to try to get views and try to be controversial. That's the last thing I try to do, is to put controversial topics out there. Listen, I worked in politics my whole life. I know not to be. I try not to push the envelope too much, because I know that could get me in some trouble there. But I'm also here to put the truth out, as my, and I say truth as like my remote viewing data says, because I stand behind my data, and I think we're all just looking for answers with a lot of this, and so I take a very unconventional approach to the research by doing remote viewing. So. Yeah, and it turns out after I did that, I was contacted by several people a lot, and there's pictures of potential evidence of the aftermath of what happened there and things like that. So yeah, if you guys want to watch that show, it's on my YouTube channel. So y'all go do that. Y'all go check it out. But yeah, we won't get into those details. Like I said, it's John, you saw it. It's very
right.
It can be upsetting to a lot of people. With that, but yeah, I just want to say, I want to give pay homage to Patty tonight as being a good Bigfoot mama, because that's what we're talking about tonight, protecting her babies, and yeah. So that's an interesting story. Like, let's move on to the next one, John.
Okay.
There's another story that I thought was really interesting, and it doesn't have to do with the Sasquatch mama per se, but it has to do with the Sasquatch family. And there's a super duper interesting story that came out of Canada. I can't remember. I think it was I want to say in between the 1920s and 1950s. I can't remember exactly when. But there was a man named Albert Osman he claimed he had been kidnapped by a Sasquatch and kind of held captive for a while by a Sasquatch family. This man was actually, he woke up being flung over the shoulder of a Sasquatch in his sleeping bag. And I think it was like an hour or two. I mean, it was hours. He was taken on the shoulder of the Sasquatch across the country and taken to a family of Sasquatch where he hung out for, I think it was like a week or something. It was several days with a family of Sasquatch. Now, people did not believe this man. He was actually a gold prospector. He was a miner. He was looking for, to get a gold claim or something like that deep in the mountains. And people thought he was absolutely insane and crazy, but I don't know. I don't think he was all that crazy. I think that his story did, it did kind of pan out, so to say. Pan out. That sounds like a gold miner term. His story panned out. But anyways, he was claiming that he thought that perhaps he was taken there to breed with the daughter of the Sasquatch. Okay, which is kind of weird. But
Well,
yeah,
that isn't too much for Sasquatch fathers.
no, that didn't go well with the patriarch of the family, or who knows. But yeah, it's a pretty interesting, well-known story. John, are you familiar with the Albert
Yeah,
Osmond
I
case?
am. That was another fascinating story for me when I first started research, and I got tickled because if you read the story or the versions I've read, I think the female, the adult female, the mother of the two, she was a little more, it was almost like the attitude of, why did you bring this thing into my house? I don't think she was real happy with Osman being there. I remember a couple of references to her being upset with him or always watching him, keeping her eyes on him. And,
Oh yeah.
it's kind of like, the husband brought home a stray dog or, a living, breathing pig in a blanket. That's what that looks like in that sleeping bag. So I don't know, but I got the impression the female was not on board with him being brought into the family setting.
Yes. Okay. We joke around about being Bigfoot burritos when we're doing Bigfoot field research, when we're out in the field. I mean, if we're just out in the field doing anything, I always joke about how I put my tent next to whichever one of my friends is in a hammock that night, because you're going to be in a sleeping bag on a hammock, and you are a Bigfoot burrito, ripe for the picking. And so I know the Sasquatch is going to go straight for them, and they're going to bypass my tent if they see a Bigfoot burrito, because that's easy pickings. Okay, so yes, I'm talking about my friend Keith. Keith's always in his hammock, and so I put my tent right by Keith on purpose. Okay, so but yeah, that's kind of what I would think that I would feel kind of doom and gloom if I was that man and I woke up, being carried as a Bigfoot burrito. Over a
Jessica, do you remember what year he
Yes.
let that story out, or he
I don't
was public
remember.
with it?
It had to have been somewhere between like 1920 to 1950. I don't remember the exact date.
Okay, so you
I
got
did a
that,
whole
and then
show
you
on
got
it though.
the Ape Canyon thing, and I
Yeah.
think it's amazing that people, a lot of people don't realize this all goes back earlier than Patterson Gimlin or the term Bigfoot coming up, and especially back in those days, if the guy comes out and he says what has happened to him, people must have knowledge of these things, and you're not going to get rich, especially in that era. You're going to lose all credibility with people, coming up with a story like this. You're not going to get rich from
Yeah.
it. So, I mean, to come out with these things like that in Ape Canyon, I would think something really had to happen to these people, or they would have just kept their mouths shut.
Yeah. Well, he did an interview with a local newspaper, and if you go back and do your research and you read old newspaper articles from the 1800s and the early 1900s, they put the truth out there a little more than I'd say that is put out today. I'm just going to go out on a limb and say that. I mean, you can find articles on giant skeletons that were found and giants all over the United States. Wild men stories from all over the United States as well. Just
I
that
get
was like the
tickled with
talk
the
of the
writing
town.
style too from those old newspaper reports. Like if somebody got thrashed by one, the beast picked the man up and merrily beat him against the stones.
Oh yeah.
I love listening to the way they wrote back in those, or reading the way they wrote back in those days.
Oh yeah, it was different than it is today. That's for sure. And yeah, that I can, I was actually speaking at the Georgia Bigfoot conference, and I never regret things that I say. I'm pretty. I'm not gonna say I'm careful about what I say. I just say what I say. I don't know, but I somehow, I didn't have like a full presentation, or like had like, I don't write speeches and stuff like that. I just kind of speak off the cuff usually. And I said the same thing that I said tonight about, the newspapers told the truth back then. And there just so happened to be a newspaper reporter in the audience who came up to me after the presentation, and he was like, "Hey, I'm going to tell the truth, I promise." And I felt really bad, actually. I felt kind of bad. I didn't feel really bad, but I felt a little bad that I had said that, because he kind of called me out on it, and it's okay. It's okay. But he assured me that he was a good guy that put the truth out there. So, but anyways, that's kind of what happened. When it comes down to these newspaper articles from back in the day. So he was interviewed by a newspaper, and I mean, this was it went viral. Like I said, those videos went viral. It was the equivalent of going viral back in the early 1900s. I believe is when that was. It went viral. His story, and it basically ruined his life. I mean, any person that claimed they were kidnapped by a Sasquatch, or even had contact with Sasquatch, things like that, it's pretty much a mark. Okay, you get marked, and everybody makes fun of you, and it ruins your reputation. So you can see why people even today have a hard time coming forward, admitting that they've had contact with any kind of cryptid, John.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, but anyways, he had contact with an entire family, and was basically taken in as, I'm not going to say as part of their family, but they fed him and all sorts of stuff. And I think the way that he escaped from that
was something. That was being on his toes.
Yeah, he had a little packet of snuff, apparently some tobacco. And I don't remember if he actually offered it to the male Sasquatches that were there, or he blew it in their face. There's a little debate about that. Some say that he blew it in their face and it made them, it burned their eyes and he was able to run. But I think it was more like he offered it to them and they ate it, and it made them extremely sick. And that's how he was able to get away. Yeah. I don't know. I'm not into the tobacco stuff, so I'm not sure. I know it wouldn't make me feel good if I tried it. So, but yeah, that's what he said. Yeah, I agree, Brown Dwarf. It's hard to believe the getaway, honestly. That is kind of weird. I think it would have been easy just to get away, but I don't know. I would have ran, John. Well, unless there was a really, I mean, maybe he thought that young Sasquatch lady was cute too. I don't know. Maybe that's why he stuck around for a couple of days.
I think he just probably was waiting for his time to get away.
Yeah.
The way I've seen it described is he was actually taking dip himself and like acting, putting on a big act about how good it was. And from what I understood, and there's probably, stories probably been told 100 different ways, but I think the young male took it from him and offered it to the older male, and they both got sick. That's how he made his getaway.
Well, hey, at least he got away. That's the important part. And,
right.
And he was able to go, I think he waved down some loggers or something like that. And I don't know if he told a story to them or not, but I don't think those guys were very shocked by it. Now, talking about all these loggers and the connection that the logging companies have to Sasquatch, John, I've heard more stories this past week of logging companies actually hiring people to come out and, I'm going to say, exterminate Sasquatches throughout the years. Yeah, have you not heard that before?
No, I haven't run across that before, but I have heard tales of finding it hard to hire loggers in some places because of these things, and maybe that's why they would do it. I think if Sasquatches were that big a problem that they were shooting them, I
Yeah.
think they would have been dragging them out for people to see too, though. I mean,
And
you know, I
yeah,
mean,
that's weird, right? That they
uh,
didn't.
I hope I don't get logs thrown in my house, but logging is a business, and anything they can do to make a buck or dodge taxes, just like anybody else, they're going to do it. So if they shot some 8-foot ape men, I'm pretty sure they would have drug them into town and charged everybody $1 to look at them or something. Especially back in those days.
Yeah.
Back in those
Yeah.
days, they weren't worried about ecological impacts as much as they are now.
Oh,
It was
that's right.
just cut it down, wipe it out, shoot it, kill it, conquer
Right.
it. So I think if that would have been going on, they would have drug them in. Just my opinion.
Yeah. That's a great point. I would think that too, but it's odd that um, I hear stories about this pretty often now. I've been hearing about it ever since especially since I did that show on Thursday night. Um, Logging companies. I mean, my great grandfather owned a timber mill and a timber company, and he passed away before I was born. And my goodness, I gotta say, I bet he had some interesting stories, and I would love to have
Well,
been able to
I
talk to
heard a
him about
story
that.
just recently from a friend of mine. Doesn't live out here. Him and his wife live near Oklahoma City, and they come out here twice a year and ride their motorcycles through here. And I don't
Hmm.
know how true it is. I haven't heard it from any locals, but he said he talked to somebody at one of the timber companies here and said they had a hard time hiring people to replant trees after they've cut an area out. They'll go in and replant trees that will be ready to
Yeah.
harvest another 20, 25 years. And he said they were having a hard time hiring people because they were encountering Sasquatch too much out here in the Kiamichis. I don't know if that's true. Like I say, I haven't heard it from anybody local, but um, heard it from some city people that come out here twice a year. But they do come out and they
Really.
talk to a lot of people. I think they've got more friends out here than I do, and they live in Oklahoma City. So
Oh wow. Well, okay, you have something very interesting going on. I mean, we're going to have to wrap this up now because we're about to run out of time tonight, John. This has gone by
okay,
so fast, and you guys have like a Bigfoot festival or something going on this weekend. What's going on in
yeah, we got
Oklahoma?
the first ever Kiamichi Mountain Bigfoot um, conference, and we're going to have quite a few speakers. I think like 10. I know Ken Gerhardt's going to be there. I wish I had the list on me. A guy with a PhD is also going to be there. We got a local a guy that also does the Honobia Bigfoot Festival in October. Troy Hudson, he'll be speaking. I'll
Oh
be emceeing at
yeah.
least part of the time, but it's going to be at the Choctaw Community Center in Tallahena this weekend, and it starts at, I think doors open at 8:30. The conferences run from about 10 till 8 at night. The speakers, so it's going to be at least 10 speakers, so it should be a pretty good deal. They're going to let people sell books and things like that there as well. So if you're anywhere near Tallahena this weekend, come on out to that.
Oh man, I so wish I lived closer to you guys. I would love to go to that. That sounds like a great event. Yeah, even though I'm going to be in Las Vegas actually this weekend,
Oh, you're going
and
to be
and then
suffering, huh?
it's I'm going to be suffering. Well, then I fly. I
Trade
go
you.
on Sunday. I'm heading out to Illinois for the Journey to Truth conference. So I'm gonna be gone for a minute. So my shows are going to be on pause for a couple of weeks. So y'all are going to have to watch some reruns the week after. Okay, but yeah, that's amazing. I am so excited. I wish I could be there for that. Aussie Sue has a question. Do I think that our governments have these national parks to keep the Sasquatch in one area for this reason? They're killing them off. Perhaps they say that the national parks are, were made like federal lands and things like that to protect the Sasquatch. Some people do think that. And for the cryptids that are on that property and stuff like that. So it could be. I am not 100% sure, but I would say it's a strong probability. What do you think, John?
Yeah, I mean anything's possible. Um, but then again, sometimes I wonder if they are out there. Why did the government? Sometimes governments like to take control of land and have even tighter control over it. Well, Sasquatch would be a perfect opportunity for them to say, you can't use this land, you can't do this here, you can't do that there, or if you do, we're going to tax the snot out of you. So it can go both
Right.
ways. I'm not but I can't. Well, I'm not going to say I can't see him killing them off. I could see that happening.
Yeah, that's really sad. Ron, I'm not. I'm going to be broadcasting live, y'all. We're going to be broadcasting live from Las Vegas on Saturday. So we've got a full day of shows all day Saturday. There's no reruns at Spaced Out Radio. Okay, by the way, I'm talking about my channel over at the Cryptid Huntress. Okay, so that'll be next week. I'm going to be at the Journey to Truth conference. I'm presenting on remote viewing and cryptids. So y'all, please come join me. You can get a live pass. You can use a discount code. I've got the code. You just go click a link over on I've got it in my community tab on YouTube and on all my social media platforms. So y'all come see that. John, this has been absolutely amazing. Tell everybody about your book series before we go tonight. We got about a minute.
Okay. My book series is RELICS, The Dark Autumn, RELICS, the Honobia Remnant, and then the final one was RELICS 3, Lair of the Ancients. It starts out and you think it's a Bigfoot book or a Bigfoot series, and it goes into more things. Actually, the first book is, I have people tell me they think it's the best Sasquatch novel ever written. And
I agree. It's a good one.
I don't reveal it till the second book, but the first book, the Sasquatches aren't real Sasquatches, so you don't meet the real ones till the second book. And if you're interested in the UFO things like Roswell, what happened down Antarctica in '47, Operation High Jump, the Nazi Belt, the Glocka, Kecksburg, the giant in Afghanistan, UFO.
Giant of Kandahar.
Yeah,
Yes.
Giant of Kandahar, UFOs in Vietnam. It's all in these 3 books. And a friend of mine who's also an author goes, man, I don't know. I never could figure out how you were going to tie it all together, but you managed. And it ends up, we go from Bigfoot to Fallen Angels in the last book. So it's quite a ride.
Amazing.
And you can get it at www.relicsbook.com. We'll set you to the Amazon links to buy any format.
Yes, it is. You guys, they are literally nail biters. They are amazing books. Let me put this up really quick. Relics book, right? Or Relic? Is it Relic with the S or no S?
It's Relics S. Relicbook.com.
Relicsbook.com. I'm going to put it up on the ticker real quick. John, thank you so much for being here with me tonight. This has been an amazing show. I've had so much fun with you. We always have a good time.
Yeah, we do. I always enjoy
shows.
being on your show.
Thank you, John. All right. Well, listen, you have a great night. Come back and see us here at Space Out Radio soon, okay? And tell Monica Happy Mother's Day again for me. I know she's in the chat tonight. Hey, Monica. All right, John. Have a great night. Thank you again.
Thank you.
Bye, John. All right, y'all. So After Hours is about to go live in just a few seconds. I hope you guys enjoyed this show. I totally did. Yeah, they're about to take you on a mysterious journey for the next 3 hours. Next time on Off the Trails, I'm going to be in Las Vegas. I'm going to be doing a live show on Saturday. It will not be at the same time as my normal shows. Sunday, I'm going to have that off. I'm going to be flying out to New Jersey. Or not New Jersey. Where's New Jersey come from? Illinois, y'all. Illinois. I don't know where I'm at right now. I don't know where I'm going. I'm all over the place. But yeah, I love you guys. I will see y'all live in Vegas next weekend. And y'all go join After Hours. I will be back the next week. I think I'll be back Memorial Day weekend, at least that Sunday. So you guys have a great night. Y'all be sure to lock your doors tonight. Sleep safe. Put your nightlight on. Bye, y'all.